I really love that particular reading from the Gospel this morning. It's because there you have Mary. She's very sad. They have killed Jesus. She knew more than anybody else that he was an innocent man. She saw him being crucified. She saw him hanging on the cross because she was there. And then she comes to the tomb, which is something very normal. Very often when people lose a loved one, they tend to go back certainly a few days later, and sometimes very often to the grave or to the tomb to visit their loved one and to pray for them. And we're told Mary just went along to the tomb early in the morning. She was sad, she was weeping, and the body of Jesus wasn't there. You can imagine her surprise, wondering, where have they taken him? And it's interesting, I think the lovely part of the gospel is, she comes out and Jesus is standing, but she doesn't recognize him. She thinks he's the gardener. And so she says to Jesus, they've taken the body away, or have you taken him? Do you know where have you put him? And the most beautiful part of the gospel is Jesus saying, Mary. And she recognized him the very minute when he mentioned her name. Now, pause for a moment. And when somebody's very close to you, or especially somebody who really loves you, somehow or other, when they pronounce your name or say your name, it's different from the way anybody else says that particular name. So, Jane, Susan, John, Michael, that the person very close to you, you recognize their saying of your name is different from anybody else. I think we've all experienced that. And so the lovely message that comes through to me in the gospel this morning, my name is written on the palm of God. And so to God, my name is different from anybody else's. And there's probably hundreds of thousands of Denises in the world. But when God says my particular Denis, it's totally different. And when he says your particular Rebecca or Rosemary or June or James, is totally different. It's such a beautiful, moving moment in the gospel. And don't just think it only applies to Mary, it applies to all of us. That's the intimacy of God's love. And that's really what we're called to do every day, to believe more and more in God's love for me, God's love for you. We have been told many times we have to prove our love for God. No. We have to accept without any doubt God's love for us. That's the secret.